Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you the Orix Buffaloes and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters from the Kosero Dome in Osaka. And as we are a little bit late getting into the seat here, we are going to give you the starting lineups right off the hop for the visitors from Hokkaido. And that will be leading off tonight, left fielder number 7, Haruki Nishikawa. Batting second at first base is number 21, Kotaro Kiyomiya. Hitting in the 3 spot and doing designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. In the cleanup spot, playing third base is number 3, Yuya Gunji. Batting in the 5 spot and playing second base is number 44, Ruin Otsuka. Batting sixth in center field is number 12, Kodi Ozawa. Hitting seventh at right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Hitting in the 8th spot, doing the catching is 64, Yua Tamiya. Batting ninth at shortstop, number 54, Shu Yamagata. And they're going to be facing Aaron Curry, who takes to the hill with a 1-2 record. He's worked 24 2/3 innings in his 4 starts, allowing 23 hits, 10 runs, all of which have been earned, walking 4 and striking out 24 while pitching to a 3.65 earned run average. Lineup tonight for the Buffaloes. The home team in this one, as the Buffaloes will lead off Yumabune. He'll play third. Batting second in center field is number 0, Haruto Watanabe. Hitting third in left field is number 7, Ryo Nishikawa. And the cleanup spot at first base is number 45, Bob Seymour. Hitting in the 5th spot and doing the designated hitting is number 4, Tomoya Mori. Batting in the 6th spot and in right field is number 38, Ryoto Kida. Hitting 7th at shortstop is number 34 tonight, Seiya Yokoyama. Hitting 8th and doing the catching, number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. Batting 9th at second base, number 9, Tomoya Noguchi. And they are slated to face Kohei Arihara, who's got a 1-3 record this year, working 24 innings, allowing 30 hits, 20 runs, 17 earned, walking 9, striking out 12, while pitching to a 6.38 earned run average. Well, those are your starting lineups, and the first pitch here is right up now. We welcome everybody into the stream tonight. The 1975 WSP says, which team is better? Well, right now, the Buffaloes are the better of the 2 clubs, as Aaron Curry is ready to deliver the first pitch of the ball game, and it is a fastball missing upstairs, and we are underway. So the first pitch at local time, 1:02 in the afternoon on a beautiful Sunday in Osaka. So 1 ball and no strikes. So the better team currently, not just the team in our eyes, the Buffaloes, as there's a fastball that's taken on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. When you look at the records, the Fighters have been actually off to a very disappointing start. The Fighters currently are in 5th position. It is rather logjam. The Buffaloes are sitting in the top spot with a 15-9 record. There's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count now 1-2 to Nishikawa. Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have slipped out of the top spot. They find themselves 2 games behind the Buffaloes and a half game ahead of the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, who are sitting in 3rd. The Saitama Cebu Lions are next at 4 games behind the Buffaloes. 4.5 are the Fighters, and the Chipolote Marines are 5 back so far in the Pacific. And that is your early season win-loss table. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses inside. The count now goes to 2-2 on Nishikawa. Nishikawa hitting .222 on the year. He's got a homer and 4 runs driven in. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Aaron Curry. Curry, the veteran time of the Hiroshima Carp in his 2nd season with the Buffaloes. Works to the belt, now delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside. It was a 2-seamer, had a little bit of backdoor run, but not enough to catch the inside corner. Count full to Nishikawa. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. We were off the airwaves for a little bit. The 1975 WSP, Chave in the house. Everybody is here. We appreciate you guys for popping in. 3-2 on the way. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count remains full to Nishikawa. Been battling some of the seasonal allergies, and it has not been a lot of fun. I can share that with you. It is definitely, I can't wait for this month of April to end and hopefully get some rain. I never thought I'd ever say that, but definitely trying to clear through this time of the year. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. And there's a breaking ball, misses down. It's going to be ball 4. And Nishikawa is aboard with a leadoff walk to start the ball game, and that's going to bring up the first baseman in Kotaro Kiyomiya. And just looking ahead as we are in the next bit of days, there are going to be some day games next week. So we'll have some early first pitches. And so hopefully you guys can join us for that. There is, if you're in North America, at 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern on Monday night, it'll be the Lions hosting the Fighters at the Balluna Dome. And then there's a whole slate of games, which would be the Tuesday evening, 10 o'clock North American time in the Pacific time zone, as we haven't decided which one we will pick up. So the first couple of days of the week, we will grab ourselves a couple of games. Fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is quickly 0-1 to Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya hitting .286 on the year, 5 homers and 19 runs driven in. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Aaron Curry. So with those as earlier starts, we're looking forward to that. And then we get into the month of May, and that's get me where it's exciting. We will still see some games in May with some earlier starts. Fastball misses up, and the count now 1-1 to Kiyomiya. As we said, there'll be some earlier starts through the month of May, especially that first week. We've got that May 4th, 5th, and 6th, lots of day games. So 10 o'clock starts. We'll be all over that. I believe that's Golden Week, if my memory serves correctly. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. On the way, fastball swung on, looping liner over the glove of the shortstop into left field, right past the outstretched arms of Yokoyama. Digging around second, heading into third safely is Nishikawa. Kiyomiya with a double. And that's going to put Fighters at second and third here with nobody out. And that's going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. So the Fighters are looking for a big inning here right out of the gate. It was a split finger fastball or a forkball, depending on how you wish to phrase it, that the ball ended up just hanging up a little bit. A nice job there by Kiyomiya to stay inside the ball and go the other way with it. And that's got runners at second and third here with nobody out. And that is going to bring Reyes to the plate. For Reyes, he's hitting .280 on the year. He's got 3 homers and 8 runs driven in. He really hasn't quite hit full stride yet, although he has picked up the batting average over the last 10 days. Batting from the right side, waggling the bat. Curry kicks and delivers. There's a split figure pitch swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, from left to right field, Nishikawa is in left, Watanabe's in center, and the right fielder is Kita. Around the horn from first to third, Seymour is at first, Noguchi at second, the shortstop is Yokoyama, and at third, Yumamune with the battery of Curry and Wakatsuki. Pitch on the way, fastball just misses inside, and the count now runs even to 1-1 on Reyes. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As I mentioned, I like Aaron Curry. I remember him with the Hiroshima Carp. As we were talking about that a little bit, he was what I would call, at least in my eyes, there's a split finger pitch missing down in the way, and the count now goes to 2-1. Aaron Curry, pretty solid starter for the Carp. A big loss out of their rotation. I got a chance to see him pitch a few years ago. I saw him live, I think 3 times against the Giants, the Bay Stars, and I think it was against the Dragons as the other one. Every time he took to the mound, solid workman-like innings. Ground ball hit to short. That's going to get a run in. The shortstop fires it over to first. That's Yokoyama. He's going to get Reyes on a ground out 6-3. Holding at second is Kiyomiya. And that is going to score Nishikawa with the first run of the ball game. And the Fighters have drawn first blood here as they've taken a 1-0 lead. Kiyomiya did not advance from second. So 1 in the books, and that is going to bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. So Gunji striding to the plate. Batting .230 on the year, a couple homers and 8 RBIs. He is yet to really get going by his standards. Very open stance, extends the hand away from his body, and the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Gunji. The 28-year-old Gunji enjoying his time with the Fighters. He originally was acquired in a trade from the Chinichi Dragons. It kind of makes you wonder a little bit what Chinichi is doing over there with their ball club. Makes you, I say, not just wonder, but scratch your head a little bit on how they're putting their team together. Here comes the 0-1 pitch on the way. Split finger pitch misses down. They appeal to the first base umpire, and up goes the right hand. As they felt Gunji has gone around. It's no balls and 2 strikes. And you see that sometimes with organizations, the scouting staff, how they value players, how they evaluate them, what is important. Even at the major league level, there's philosophies from organization to organization. So you really have to kind of wonder what the Chinichi Dragons brass seems to think about evaluating players, as they have had their troubles, at least on the offensive side, over the past few years. Here's the 0-2. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep center field. Racing back underneath it at the edge of the warning track and making the catch is Watanabe. Tagging at second and heading to third is Kiyomiya. And that is going to retire Gunji for the second out of the inning. That is going to bring up the second baseman in Ruin Atsuka. I have to tell you, I don't know a whole lot about Atsuka. He had played in the exhibition season. We got a chance to see him play a couple of times. He is a young player for the Fighters, getting an opportunity to get the start tonight. Once Kazunori Ishii took his act to the ball club in Saitama, there was an extra opening at second base, as whether it be Kamikawabata or Mizuno, whoever was playing, there was an extra spot. Rama not in the lineup tonight. Breaking ball misses down, and the count is 1-0. So Atsuka getting not only the start, but hitting in the 5-hole here tonight. He's 2 for 7 on the year. No homers, no RBIs, batting .286 in the limited at-bats. Pitch on the way, split finger pitch swung on. It's going to be looped over the head of the second baseman into right field. And Atsuka is going to collect himself his first run batted in of his NPB career, as he's got himself an RBI single. In to score is Kiyomiya, and the Fighters now have themselves a 2-0 lead here early on in inning number 1. And that is going to bring up the center fielder in Kota Yazawa. Well, for Yazawa, he has struggled out of the gate this year. He's hitting a .189, a couple of homers, a couple RBIs. He has got the starts in center field, but I don't know if he has taken the full advantage of his opportunities. We also have seen him in left field, not so much in right. So Yazawa striding to the plate, ready to face Curry for the first time. He is the 6th batter to come to the plate in the inning. Runner on first, and there is two gone here in the inning. The 25-year-old Yazawa was once a dual player for the Fighters, but it looks like they have settled on him just on the offensive side. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is lifted into left field. Not deep enough. Started back on it, and now coming in is the left fielder Nishikawa. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it as Yazawa's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Fighters strike first. 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we are through a half inning, it is the Fighters 2 and the Buffaloes coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the bottom of the 1st inning in just a few right after this timeout. Your score is 2-0 for the Fighters. Buffaloes coming to bat in their half of the 1st when we return in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. Kohei Arihara has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action here in the bottom of the first. Arihara, in his return to Hokkaido after spending some time with the Hawks over the last couple of years, has not quite gone to schedule or as planned, as he has posted an ERA over 6 in his first 24 innings of work with the Fighters. No longer the power arm that he once possessed. He does have pretty good command and control of his pitches, but he has yet to establish that this year with the Fighters. The first pitch is a fastball that misses up and away to Yuma Mune for ball 1. Mune hitting .247 on the year, 4 homers and 9 runs driven in. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Arihara, who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled straight back, and the count now even at a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Defensively tonight for the Fighters, from left to right field, it's Nishikawa in left, Yazawa in center, and Manami in right. As Arihara ready to deliver again here to the left-handed hitting Mune. Now he kicks and fires. Fastball misses down. It now goes to 2-0. Around the horn from first to third, Kiyomiya is at first. Atsuka is at second. The shortstop is Yamagata, and over at third, it's Gunji with the battery of Arihara and Tamiya. Fastball swung on, tap foul over on the first base side. The count runs even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Glad you guys can make it in on a Saturday evening. If you are in North America, we're glad you guys were able to find us on the YouTube dials. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes full to Yuma Mune. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mune waggling the bat as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and Mune is in the books. That was old-fashioned Kohei Arihara as he reared back and fired a fastball right by Mune. He is in the books for out number 1, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Haruto Watanabe. Just looking at yesterday's results, it was a 4-2 victory for the Buffaloes over the Fighters in yesterday's affair. They had close to 33,000 at the Kyocera Dome for that one. Buffaloes jumped on the Fighters early and were able to keep the distance between them. Takashima got the win. Kitayama took the loss as that first pitch fastball misses up to Watanabe. 1 ball and no strikes. There's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count now runs even at 1-1. And you know, when you look at the stats in last night's ball game, as we were taking a peek at it, there was a fastball that's taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 1-2 on Watanabe. At least for the Buffaloes side of the ledger, it was a big night for Oda, who drove in 3 RBIs. There's a breaking ball that misses down. The count goes to 2-2. You know, Oda had 3 hits. He had 3 RBIs last night, and as his reward, you get the night off the next day. That's one thing I just don't understand sometimes from some of the managers in the Japanese league. I got a guy who's got 3 hits. I think I'm rolling him back out the next night. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. Count remains at 2-2. Also joining the party in that 11-hit attack last night was the left fielder Ryoma Nishikawa. As Nishikawa had 3 hits as well, so he accounted for 6 of the 11 hits in that 3-4 spot. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count remains at 2-2 to Watanabe. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the first inning, Fighters enjoying a 2-0 lead after a RBI ground out by Franmil Reyes and an RBI single by Ruin Atsuka. The Fighters out in front. Here's the pitch. Fastball comes inside, almost hits Watanabe. It moves him off the plate. The count now runs full. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Watanabe wears that shin guard on his right leg. Stands very deep in the batter's box. Buffaloes, who are wearing their all-black uniforms tonight with the gold and white trim. There's a fastball that misses down and in. It's going to be ball 4, and Watanabe is aboard with a 1-out walk. It's going to bring Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. And this is where it's dangerous, as the runner Watanabe, who gets the start in center field tonight, he's got 7 stolen bases already on the year. He is a threat to run. Not only a threat to run, but when you look at the statistics in the Pacific League, he is the number 1 base stealer early on here. So giving the Buffaloes a dimension that maybe they haven't really had. When you think of stolen base leaders, Kobakata has been regular, and so has Yukio Shudo in the Pacific League. Buffaloes have had some players who can run a little bit, but not a lot. So this brings Nishikawa to the plate. He's hitting .337, another former Carp. As the pitch on the way is a fastball taken center cut for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike. Nishikawa hitting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Arihara. The other stolen base leaders, it is from the Fighters. Kodi Yazawa has 4. And the other one is Ryota Isabata. He also has 4 stolen bases. So the Fighters know how to get around the base paths as well. As Arihara flips it over to first, and retreating back easily is Watanabe. More of a token toss, that one there, to keep him honest. I have to admit, I kind of like these Buffaloes jerseys. They got the F's are like capital F's in the middle, surrounded by a bunch of lowercase letters. There's a breaking ball swung on it. Is lifted into left field. He started in, and then he had to hold his ground, was the left fielder Nishikawa. So Nishikawa flies out to Nishikawa for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the first baseman and Bob Seymour. Well, for Seymour, he is hitting .209 on the year, homer and 8 RBIs. The big American left-handed hitting first baseman, 27 years old. He had signed from the Tampa Bay Rays. Seymour batting from the left side. He's got an open stance here against the right-handed throwing Arihara, who delivers a first pitch breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 to Seymour. Be important for Seymour to get it going. I was thinking of Leandro Cedeno, who played with the Lions last year, who was with the Buffaloes in the years before, and he had his moments where he was really productive. Lots expected here of the American player in the middle of the order. He's got to start getting his numbers up. There's a breaking ball swung on as the runner was off to the races, but he's going to have to retreat his way back to first, and that is going to run the count even to 1-1. Our friend Samurai Prayer says, peace and blessings to you from Japan. It has been a while. It sure has. I think we've got everything under control where the allergies have been knocked down, but I don't want to speak out of line yet. That's probably where it'll come back and bite me again. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Seymour. 2 gone here in the first. Runner at first is Watanabe. As the right-hander Arihara holds to the belt, and he flips it over to first base. And again, getting back safely is the runner. Just a brutal month for it. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. And normally we get a lot of rain in the month of April, and that has not been the case this year. So that's probably keeping the pollen and the dust in full flight. As the right-hander Arihara holds set, again, he steps off and flips it over to first base. And again, easily getting back is the runner Watanabe. So I guess when you have all the cherry blossoms, as beautiful as they are, it is not good. We needed a little bit of rain mixed in here and there to knock down the pollen in the air. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander again works himself set. There goes the runner. Fastball swung on, hammered foul down the right field line. And that is going to run the count to a ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 it is. But we're glad to be back on the airwave with you. Our friend Samurai Prayer says the holiday season called Golden Week is around the corner. Yeah, we were just talking about it at the top of the stream, and there's a lot of day games in Japan, and we're going to be able to get a few of those on the stream. As well as next week on Monday night, there's going to be a 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern game Be the Fighters and the Lions. There's a fastball swung on, lined into right field, down for a base hit. Digging around second and heading to third is Watanabe. The throw comes in, and that they're going to throw on the brakes, as that's going to put runners on the corners, as Seymour has got himself a single. Watanabe stopping over at third, runners on the corners. That's going to bring up the designated hitter in Tomoya Mori. So, yeah, we're pretty excited to get some of those Golden Week games in. A number of games, I think, over the course of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday North American time, which will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Japan. Anytime you can get the early games in those nights, it's a lot more fun. Although I have to say, the one Thursday night, it's not this week. I think maybe in a couple of weeks I may have a commitment that I'll have to try to cut short. We'll deal with that as we do. Tomoya Mori hitting at .250 on the year. He's got a homer and a couple RBIs. They really need to get his bat going. He could be a major producer here in the order for them if he can return to his form from the Setabo Cebu Lions a couple of years ago. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the coach's box down on the first base side. Mori, a very aggressive hitter. He wastes very little time, as he's going to have to go get himself a new piece of lumber. That one has broken in his hands. So one strike to the designated hitter of the Fighters, or of the Buffaloes, I should say. I was thinking of Tomoya Mori, his time with the Lions, Pacific League MVP a few years ago. But he really hasn't lived up to that billing with the Buffaloes. He's been good, but he hasn't been great. But they could use him to be very productive here, be a very big impact in their part of the order. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. As the right-hander Arihara is set to deliver his 22nd pitch of the inning. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, lined into center field for a base hit. That's going to get a run back. Rounding second and heading to third is Seymour. The throw comes in. It is offline. And sliding into second on the throw is Mori. A good piece of base running by him. So Mori with an RBI single. That's going to get the Buffaloes their first run of the game. He advances to second on the throw as Seymour slides safely into third. And Watanabe has cut the lead to 2-1 here in the first inning. We've got fireworks all over the place in the Kyocera Dome, as it'll bring Ryoto Kita to the plate with runners at second and third. And for Kita, well, he got the start in right field tonight. He's hitting an even 200, no homers and a couple RBIs. That's always a sign of a good team, when they get a couple of runs stuck to you, and the next thing you know is you come right back with at least one of your own and maybe more. Which also brings us to Kohei Arihara. It's very important when you do get runs, you got to go out and put up a 0. So that way there you can keep the momentum. But the Fighters unable to do so right now. They have been struggling this year to find their way, and it looks like that they are struggling with their rhythm here tonight. There's a breaking ball missing outside, and the count is 1-0 to Kita. So 1 ball and no strikes. Kita batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Arihara, who gets that sign from Tamiya. Now he kicks and delivers. There is a fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. Count even at 1-1. So ball and a strike. Kita digs himself back in as Arihara ready to go. He gets the sign from Tamiya. Checks the runner over at third. Takes himself a deep breath and now kicks and fires. It's a fastball missing up and in, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. Other games around the NPB tonight, as there are a full slate of games. Other game that's currently underway is in the top of the third between the Lions and the Eagles. That game is at 0s. We're still in the first inning, and they're already into the third. There's a fastball swung on. It's lined into center field for a base hit. That's going to get at least 1 run in. Rounding third, and the throw to the plate is going to be offline, and coming in to score is Mori, and moving into second on the throw is Kita. So an RBI 2-run single off the bat of Kita, bringing home Seymour and Mori. And advancing to second on the throw to the plate is Kita. Not only did they get one back, they got three back, and the Buffaloes have now taken the lead 3-2. So a run festival here in the first inning in Osaka. Fighters scoring two in the top, and the Buffaloes responding right back with three of their own. And, the interesting part, the throw from the center fielder, Yazawa, it may have been on line, but it hit the pitcher's mound and deflected over to the third base side, which took it offline and easily allowed Tomoya Mori to be able to reach the plate. I think it could have been on time, but got to get the throw up a little more, and you got to get over the mound. And certainly where the depth of that throw was, a little surprised that they challenged the arm of Yazawa. So here comes the first pitch here to Yokoyama. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Already here in the inning, 27 pitches thrown by Arihara. And our friend God is Great is in the house. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on and it's grounded foul over on the first base side. We're glad you can make it in. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, I haven't given the information for that yet tonight, as the game is on TV. That is for certain. We're glad you could make it in here tonight. No balls and 2 strikes to Seiya Yokoyama. Likes the look of this player here. Very, very tall, batting from the left side. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and that's going to do it. As Yokoyama down on strikes for out number 3. But the Buffaloes answer back in the first inning with 3 runs of their own. 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. Your score as we are through 1 complete. It is the Buffaloes with a 3-2 lead. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll direct everything to here, and if you want to go find the games on TV, it is JSport 3 carrying the ball game. If you're looking for the online DAZN, Rakuten TV, and Baseball Live all have it. You got to make sure you got a VPN, or you got to make sure you are in the land of the rising sun, be able to pull off those games. And if anybody asks, go to the top of the second inning, and that will be where we leave it from there. It is going to be Aaron Curry back on the hill here for his second inning of work. He threw 20 pitches in inning number 1. And the first pitch, breaking ball, is swung on and missed by Manami, and the count is quickly 0-1. Manami hitting at .236 on the year. He's got 8 homers and 15 runs batted in entering the game tonight. Batting from the right side, he is what I would look at and say a hot and cold type hitter. I like him in a lot of ways. I like a lot of things about his game. That's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. Nice player in the Japanese league. I just don't know if he would be able to make the conversion to the game in North America. There's just something about his game that's missing. It's kind of like Teraki Sato. I just wonder how he is going to play if he comes to the States. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Jam Band says, is there another game on TV? There would be, and that would be the Eagles are playing currently. Fastball swung on, and that is lifted foul over on the first base side. The count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Arihara gets himself a new baseball. I don't know if I really like the hats that the Buffaloes are sporting. I like their logo, but I don't know if I like the advertising on the side. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count now remains at 2-2 to Manami. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. As Arihara gets himself another baseball. Bottom third of the order to come to bat to face the veteran right-hander. One thing that we've talked about in streams before is there's a breaking ball ticket for a called third strike. That's why I'm not sure Manami survives in Major League Baseball. He completely looked lost on that pitch. He's gone for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Yua Tamiya. So Tamiya coming to the plate for his first time tonight. I was saying that with the starters, as we've talked about this on the stream before, both the veterans here, Arihara and Aaron Curry, as they are seasoned veterans, sometimes once you get through the first inning, they get the release point off of the mound, they get themselves in a groove, and they become very tough. Breaking ball misses up, and the count's 1-0 to Tamiya. Tamiya hitting .261 on the year, a couple homers and 5 RBIs. You often have to get to the starters early. If you get to them early, then what ends up happening is you start to find yourself in a groove. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Or the pitchers find themselves in a groove, and then they're able to roll. But if you can chase them early, get to them early, we knock them out of the game before they get themselves in that rhythm. That's usually what happens with some of the better starters. 1-1 on the way. Breaking ball swung on, softly hit on one hop over to the third baseman. Mune fires to first, and Tamiya's in the books on the ground out. 5-3, so 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it all up to the shortstop and Shu Yamagata. Jam Band says he'd like to watch the other one while he listens to us. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where the other one is at, to be quite frank. I think DAZN carries a lot of Pacific League games. They used to carry it in the States, and I don't think they carry it stateside anymore. So if you're going to watch DAZN, you're going to have to probably have a VPN, as that breaking ball misses outside the Yamagata. Yamagata is 0 for the month of April. He has not had a hit in 15 at-bats. As the pitch is on the way, fastball swung on, grounded to third. Let's make it 16 at-bats. They fire to first. He's gone. Ground out 5-3, 1-2-3 inning. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of inning number 2. They go in order with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom half of inning number 2. Your score is the Buffaloes 3 and the Fighters 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us, everybody. More action to come. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher to keep you entertained in between innings. We'll be back right after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name. And I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes here in inning number 2 against Kohei Arihara. Our friend Samurai Prayer says the father of Aaron Curry played for the AAA team of the Atlanta Braves. That's actually pretty cool to know. Breaking ball that catches the outside corner, count is quickly 0-1. Things I like to do to try to pick up information is on the Japanese players. Sometimes the biographies or information is hard to come by. So whether it be through baseball cards or through some of the magazines that are produced, I have ordered. I usually look at those and are able to gather information, but my kanji is poor. As that breaking ball to non-existent. As that breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count's 0-2 to Wakatsuki. There's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike, and that was easy pickings here as Wakatsuki gone on strikes for out number 1 in inning number 2. It's going to bring up the second baseman in Tomoya Noguchi. And so sometimes it's hard to find those little nuggets and tidbits and so on and so forth, especially in the English language. And that just makes it all the more interesting. You know, what fathers or where there's bloodlines in the game where players may have some connections. There's a breaking ball taken on the outside corner for a called strike. Noguchi did a double take. I don't think he believed that was a strike. I have to admit, I have to go with him on that one too. I had to do a double take. There's a fastball swung on, and this is lifted foul down the left field line, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Noguchi. Yeah, so anytime you can get some of those tidbits or anytime you can get some of those little bits of information and nuggets, it just makes it all the more entertaining. I think anyways. So no balls and 2 strikes. It is here to the left-handed hitting Noguchi. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. Noguchi hitting a even 200 on the year with no homers and 4 RBIs. Getting the start tonight at second base. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted softly into left field, holding his ground, and now coming in to make the catch is the left fielder Nishikawa, and that's going to retire Noguchi for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here. I'll bring up the top of the order in Yumamune. So for Mune, he steps to the plate 0-for-1 tonight. He struck out to lead off the ball game for the Buffaloes. Batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Arihara. He works himself to the belt. Now he kicks and fires. It's a slow breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Mune hitting from the left side. Very slick fielding third baseman. There's a fastball swung on. It's tapped foul over on the third base side. Count goes even at 1-1. A lot to like about his game. I remember watching him play a few years ago when before he really became a regular fixture for the Buffaloes. Had him in the outfield at times, had him all over the place, and he really found his home at third base. Fastball swung on and lined foul into the temporary seating, and the fan unable to hang on to that line drive. The count now is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Arihara getting the sign as he works himself to the belt. And the 1-2 on the way. It is a split finger pitch missing down, and the count now goes to 2-2. Our friend Samurai Prayer said he didn't expect the fighters were struggling like this in the first 25 games of the season. Yeah, you know, the opening series against the Hawks, they got broomed, and then they've never really been able to get on track because there's a fastball that misses down in the dirt. Nice stop there by Tamiya, and the count now full to Mune. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander holds to the belt. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to short. Fielded neatly by the shortstop Yamagata, who fires to first. And that is going to do it as Mune is going to be gone here for the third out of the inning. And the Buffaloes in order, 1, 2, 3 in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. All quiet here in the second inning. We're moving to the top of the third. Your score is the Buffaloes with a 3-2 lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. 3-2 it is. Buffaloes. We return after this timeout. It is a 3-2 Buffalo lead as we cruise to the top half of inning number 3, and we'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back to everybody. The first pitch breaking ball taken on the inside corner for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1 here to Haruki Nishikawa. Nishikawa, Kiyomiya, and Reyes to get things going here in the top of the third inning. As the right-hander Curry ready to deliver. And it is a fastball swung on. It is ripped into straightaway center field, digging hard. And there to make the catch is Watanabe. As that will retire Nishikawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Kentaro Kiyomiya. Well, for Kiyomiya, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He doubled and scored a run his first time up. As he steps to the dish to face Curry for the second time. Gets himself dug in, adjusts his cap, or his helmet, I should say, and now he steps back out. Get himself set up to do it again. He's got 5 homers and 19 runs driven in on the year, does Kiyomiya. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Curry. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball swung on and tapped foul over on the first base side. The count is quickly 0-1 to Kiyomiya. Curry gets a new baseball, goes to the rosin bag, and ready to go back at it again. No balls and 1 strike to Kiyomiya. Have to say, some of the Japanese gloves I really, really like. I've got a whole slew of photos from the Hall of Fame. There's a breaking ball missing inside. If you're into gloves, some of the craftsmanship, the workmanship that the Buffalo, or not just the Buffaloes, that the glove manufacturers, whether it's Mizuno, whether it's Asics, you name it, got some pretty cool gloves. One thing that's neat is the finger hoodie. A lot of the pitchers have. There's a fastball that just misses inside. Count now 2-1 to Kiyomiya. Friend Samurai Prayer says the Buffalo's defense has made only 3 errors in the first 24 games so far. Really impressive. Yeah, it is. Obviously, they play half their games on turf. More than that, because that's their home games. There's a breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Unlike the crosstown Hanshin Tigers, who play their game on the all-dirt infield, I would have to say that probably has the more difficult of the teams in all of the NPB. There's a ground ball chopped over to short, fielded neatly by the shortstop Yokoyama. He throws to first. It takes Seymour offline, but he's going to apply the tag to Kiyomiya. It'll be a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. That is going to bring up the DH in Franmil Reyes. So fireworks in the first inning, and everything is settled down as both of these pitchers seemingly have got themselves in a bit of a groove here. As Reyes comes to the plate, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to short his first time up, but he dared drive in the first run of the game for the Fighters. He now has himself 9 RBIs on the year as the right-hander Curry works himself to the belt. Yeah, the pitch on the way. There's a fastball that just misses outside. The count is 1-0. One thing that I do scratch my head about is he really doesn't, unless you call Yuya Gunji protection in the lineup, I would have figured they would have stacked maybe Reyes and maybe Manami back to back. Obviously, Manami leading the Pacific League in home runs, and he's hitting in the 7 hole. At least it gives them somebody to bat behind him. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 1-1. Protection in the lineup. When you think about it at the major league level, if you had Reyes batting, you can always pitch around Reyes and take your chances with Gunji. Not like Gunji's putting fear into the pitchers of the opposition these days. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded down the third baseline. It's fair past the glove of Mune, rounding first, and is he heading for second? But yes, he is, and it's going to be a stand-up double for Reyes. Oh boy, that ball hugged the fence line down the third base line, and it was a favorable ball that ended up in the hands of Nishikawa. He fired it back in. I would have thought that possibly they might have had a chance at Reyes at second base. But the big fella who was running hard out of the box, to his credit, he's standing on second with a double, and that's going to bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. There's two types of things, too, when we go back to Samurai Prayer's comment about the errors. 3 errors is one thing. Also, too, that sometimes you got to be able to get the balls. Certainly the outfield that they're rolling out here tonight, at least in my opinion for the Buffaloes, is one that can play some defense. Lots of speed in the outfield here with the center fielder Watanabe, the left fielder Nishikawa, and the right fielder Kita. There's a fastball that misses inside to Gunji, and the count's 1-0. When you have a outfield that can run a little bit like that, there's not going to be a lot of balls hitting the floor, especially in the spacious outfield of the Kyocera Dome. So 1 ball and no strikes to Gunji as the right-hander pitching here to the right-handed hitting Gunji with 2 gone in the inning. Fastball moves Gunji off the plate, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Those of you who just joined us, all of the scoring came in inning number 1. It was 2 runs in the top half by the Fighters, and then the Buffaloes roared right back with 3 of their own, flexing their muscles in the bottom half of the first. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Count now 2-1 to Gunji. We were talking a lot about the Pacific League because that's what we're doing tonight, but the action in the Central League has got a lot of people's eyebrows raised. The Tokyo Yakult Swallows off to a great start, 16-8. So Munetaka Murakami, who they haven't skipped a beat as they have flapped their wings to the top of the Central League. There's a line drive hit and caught by the diving third baseman. Mune completely lays out into the 6-hole. And Gunji is gone for the 3rd out of the inning. Fantastic play by Mune to retire the Fighters here in their half of the 3rd inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom half of inning number 3. It is a Buffalo lead of 3-2. We're back in just a bit with all the action. Appreciate you for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It'll be more action when we return after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Buffaloes to come to bat here in inning number 3. That means Watanabe, Nishikawa, and Seymour to face the right-hander Kohei Arihara will begin his 3rd inning of work. The right-hander Arihara ready to go back to work. 42 pitches in the first 2 innings for the right-hander as he delivers a fastball that misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0. Watanabe walked and scored a run his first time up. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Arihara as the pitch is a fastball center cut. And take it for a called strike. Scantizzi says, thanks for the play-by-play. We're glad you could be in here with us tonight. There's a fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. Samurai Prayer says, one thing about the Swallows, they don't bunt. That's pretty rare for NPB teams. Yeah, I haven't really kept up on what's happening over in the Central League this year. We've only done a couple of games. There's a fastball swung on his tap, softly back to the mound. Arihara fields it. He throws it off balance to first. They're able to get the batter runner Watanabe on a ground out 1-3. But boy, he made that play way more entertaining than it should have been. But one in the books it is. That's going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. So one thing I emphasize to pitchers is got to be able to field positions. I like to call those cheap outs. When you have a cheap out, when you get a ground ball back to the pitcher, you got to be able to take care of those responsibilities. Anytime you can't hit the ball past the pitcher on the mound, they can field their positions. It just makes the game so much easier. First pitch on the way to the left-handed hitting Nishikawa, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Now, I don't know if that's a managerial style or an organizational philosophy right now with the Swallows. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-2. Try to remember when I saw the Swallows and the Giants play a couple of years ago at the Jingu Stadium. Both of the games, in the 2 games I went to, each team won a game. The Giants had won 1 and the Swallows had won 1. But I don't really remember the Swallows, whether they were bunting or not. There's a fastball down. That's a good stop there by the catcher, Tamiya, and the count 1-2 now to Nishikawa. So one thing that I think that the Japanese national team got wrong is they wanted to try to bang with the big boys. In other words, the Americans, the Venezuelans, the Dominicans. And rather than stay in their lane and playing good fundamental baseball, they weren't able to match them by any stretch. There's a line drive hit into center field for a base hit. Nishikawa is aboard with a single. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Bob Seymour. The things that are, that I would say fundamental to Japanese baseball are good fundamentals, defensive fundamentals, taking care of the baseball, being able to hit and run, be able to bunt, do all the little things that win games, execute rundowns, execute your bunt defense. And that was something I think that the national team strayed away from. They would score in bunches, but then there was a lot of nothing on the in-between. And I think that's the criticism of the North American game, is that there's a lot of nothing going on. Everybody's waiting for the 3-run shot. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field, racing back, looking up, and this one's gone. A home run for Bob Seymour, his second of the season. And the Buffaloes have extended their lead to 5-2. That ball had a lot of carry to it. As we're talking about the 3-run or the 2-run homer, Bob Seymour on cue delivers it here for the Buffaloes. And it is now a 5-2 Buffalo lead here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. That is going to bring up the designated hitter in Tomoya Mori. So if you took the over in the over-under here, you probably pumped a fist already. I don't know what the over-under was for the first 5 innings, but 7 runs already on the board. Our friend Mike Cool Hooks is probably punching himself in the head saying he should have done it. Fastball misses down and into Tomoya Mori, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Samurai Prayer says, Ikeyama says the Swallow manager may feel that it's not as practical. Fastball misses up and away, and the count is 2-0. Scantizzi says took the live over 9.5. It's probably a wise decision. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the right field line, but it's hooking. into the corner, and it's going to hook foul. And the count is now 2-1 to Mori. So probably not the worst pick on the over 9.5. Mori tonight is 1 for 1. He's got a single and an RBI. He advanced to second on the throw. His first time up. Left-handed hitting. Designated hitters raised his average to 262, and he swings at a split finger pitch and misses, and the count now to 2-2 on Tomoya Mori. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Arihara kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, lifted in deep left center field. Racing back, and still racing back and making an over-the-shoulder catch on the warning track is Kota Yazawa. That's going to retire Mori for the second out of the inning. So one thing that's noticeable here is that there's been a lot of loud hits. Maybe not necessarily always hits, but certainly loud outs off the bats of the Buffalo players against Arihara, and it kind of makes you wonder how long of a life that Arihara will have in this game here. He's already up to 56 pitches. And that's going to step in the right fielder, Ryoto Kita, to the plate. He is 1 for 1 tonight. He's driven in a pair of runs. And the pitch is a fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Left-handed hitting. Kita waits. There's a fastball swung on it. Is taken on 2 hops by the shortstop. Fires to first, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a ground out. 6-3 for out number 3. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the third. A third of the game in the books. The Buffaloes enjoying a 5-2 lead. 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. No errors and nobody left the board. We're now moving to the top of the 4th inning. It is a 5-2 Buffalo lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel after this timeout.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That's right, everybody. Got to have an ace in the hole, and we'll be back in just a couple moments as Aaron Curry looks like he is settling in for more in this one. We'll be right back in just a few after this. Everybody, if you wanted to see scoring in any of the games tonight, you are in the right place, as all the scoring across the NPB is in this game. It's a 5-2 lead here as we move to the top of inning number 4, as it'll be Tsuka, Yazawa, and Manami to come to the plate. The first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-1 to Otsuka. He is 1 for 1 tonight. He's got a single and an RBI. He has 3 for 8 now on the season. He's batting from the left side here against the righty Curry, who kicks and delivers a fastball that misses upstairs. Count runs even to 1-1. Top of the 5th inning at the Rakuten Mobile Miyagi Stadium in Tohoku. It's 0-0 with the Lions and the Eagles. Bottom of the 2nd, the Swallows and the Dragons are locked at 0s, and the Giants in Yokohama also locked at 0s. That's just underway in the top of the 1st. As that breaking ball is taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Otsuka. Fighters are going to have to find their way out of this one here in the early going, as the fastball misses inside and the count goes to 2-2. I'm sure the manager not happy with what is going on here, being the big boss. I wondered exactly a few years ago when they hired the big boss how it was going to go. I have to tip my hat. He's got them to a certain level. I'm just wondering if he's going to be able to get them over the hump, especially against the teams like the Hawks in particular. As that fastball misses inside, the count goes to 3-2. But the Buffaloes, of course, with three NPB series or Japan series appearances in the last 7 years, are not going to be a pushover either. They've had to retool a little bit. Of course, losing Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Masataka Yoshida to the big leagues has left some holes, but they have been able to patch them a little bit. There is a splitter that is swung on and missed, and Tsuka is in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. Let's bring up the center fielder in Kodi Yazawa. Well, for Yazawa, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He has flown to left field. Batting $189 with a couple homers and a couple RBIs. Waggling the bat here as he waits on the first pitch from the right-hander, Aaron Curry. Curry pitching from the stretch position with nobody on. And there is a changeup that is swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. When you think of pitchers that throw changeups, both Arihara and the right-hander Curry do mix in changeups. So it's one pitch that I would say in the Japanese league we don't see a ton of. We do see some. I mean, Atsu for the Hawks also has a pretty good changeup. Fastball misses outside. The count's 1-1, but a lot of fastballs, curveballs, and splitters more than anything else. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And the right-hander works to the belt. Now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on, and it's chopped foul over on the first base side of home plate. The count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. All kinds of scoring in inning number 1, and everything has settled down after that until the 2-run homer in the 3rd inning by Bob Seymour. But the fighters are looking to find their bat somewhere here to see if they can come alive. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Splitter swung on, grounded softly over to second. They're going to have to hurry. Nice play by the second baseman, Noguchi, who fields it on the run and throws to first. And Yazawa, who gets down the line really well, gone on a ground out 4-3 for the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring up the right fielder in Chusei Manami. And for Manami, well, he is 0 for 1 in this one. He got called out on strikes his first time up. Striding to plate to face Curry for the second time. As the Buffalo's right-hander ready to go back to work. 55 pitches so far for Curry. As he holds to the belt, now he kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball that just misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Manami. Manami holds the bat at his waist, and then he lifts it up, and now he steps off, does Curry, as he needs to go to the rosin bag. I guess he didn't like what he was having to work with, so we'll start it all over again. So 1 ball and no strikes to Manami. I wonder how different pitchers like the use of the rosin bag. Here's the 1-0. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into center field. Moving over to his left and making the catch easily is the center fielder Watanabe. And Manami's gone for out number 3 here in the 4th inning as the fighters go quietly yet again. And by our counts, it is 10 of the last 11 batters have been retired by Curry. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 4th inning where your score is the Buffaloes with a 5-2 lead over the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this.
just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. Kohei Arihara coming out for his fourth inning of work on 58 pitches through 3. And the first pitch is a changeup that swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. The count is quickly 0-1 to Seiya Yokoyama. Yokoyama 0 for 1 tonight, struck out his first time up. 0 for 4 on the season as the pitch is delivered. It's a changeup swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Our friend Samurai Prayer says the unfair fact is that the Buffaloes can never be as popular as the Tigers in the same region. Yeah, you know what? It is going to take, I would have to say, it's going to take a couple of generations, for their popularity to increase as that pitch misses down and the count is 1-2. I was at the Kyocera Dome a couple of years ago. I saw the Giants and the Cart play a series. I was there for 2 of the games. As the 1-2 is on the way, it is a changeup swung on and missed, and Yokoyama gone for the second time tonight on strikes. He's gone for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate. Anyways, where I was going with this, I was sitting next to a fellow. We were just having a chat, and he was telling me that he was a fan of the Hanshin Tigers, and his son was a Buffaloes fan. And, when you look at it, they don't have the biggest following. They don't have the biggest traveling section because most of the fans, to Samurai Prayer's point, are fans of the Hanshin Tigers, as Kenya Wakatsuki slaps the first pitch he sees into center field for a base hit. So he is aboard with a 1-out single, and that's going to bring up Tomoya Noguchi to the plate. And so the allure of the 100 years of the Koshin, or whatever it is now, I think it's 101, I think now, the long-time existence of the Hanshin Tigers just established. You had the Kintetsu Buffaloes and the Orix Blue Wave ended up merging together some 20 some odd years ago. And, the Orix Buffaloes have never really caught on. They're always sort of what the New York Mets are to the Yankees in New York, I would have to say. As squaring to bunt, showing bunt Noguchi, he takes a fastball inside for a ball, and the count's 1-0. Noguchi 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to left field, is only time up. But in saying all that, the Buffaloes have been rolling out some good ball clubs over the last 7-8 seasons. Of course, getting themselves a Japan Series title, and a couple of years there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 2-1. They go back-to-back against the Swallows, and then they played the Hanshin Tigers as well. I think they traded blows with the Swallows. There's a fastball that catches the inside corner, counts 2-1. And if I remember correctly, when the Swallows and the Buffaloes first played in that Japan series, they said it was the first time, and I forget how many years, that two teams had went from last place the year before to playing in the Japan series against one another. You think about it, that's like a team finishing in dead last. It'd be like the Rockies going head-to-head for a World Series against the Marlins. Well, if they were in the same league, maybe the Tampa Bay Rays going head-to-head against the Rockies, or the Athletics and the Rockies. So that breaking ball misses outside. The count is 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike. Arihara works himself to the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball just misses off the inside corner. It's going to ball 4. And Noguchi's going to get himself a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second. And it's going to bring the top of the order in Yumamune to the plate. Well, for Yumamune, he's 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and he's grounded to short in his 2 trips. So Kohei Arihara has to adjust himself to try to get himself out of this predicament. 68 pitches now for the right-hander as Mune digs himself in. As he taps both sides of the dish. Left-handed hitting third baseman of the Buffaloes, waiting on the first pitch here from Arihara, who checks that runner over at second base. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted foul into the seats, and the count is 0-1 to Mune. So no balls and one strike. Mune waggling the bat, batting from the left side here as the pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and two strikes as the right-hander ready to go again as Arihara checks that runner over at second base. That's the white runner Wakatsuki. 0-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, hammered into right field for a base hit. That should get a run in. Rounding third and heading home is Wakatsuki. The throw comes in and it's cut off by the second baseman, and that is going to be a RBI double or RBI single off the bat of Mune over here. He held him to a single. That's going to put runners at the corners. As Noguchi goes all the way around to third, Wakatsuki in to score. It's going to increase the lead to 6-2. So Mune absolutely obliterated that pitch. And that's going to put runners on the corners with one gun. It's going to bring Haruto Watanabe to the plate. And it's going to bring the big boss out of the dugout. I think he has seen enough. As Kohei Arihara looks like his night is going to be over as the pitching coach Kato is out to the mound. Mune gets a bunch of high fives over by the dugout. We got ourselves a pitching change. So stick around, everybody. We'll get that for you when we return in just a few. Arihara going to the showers early. His return to the fighters, not been a jolly one, that is for sure. And we'll be back in just a couple of moments after this.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you going to throw in there Rolly Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. We do have a pitching change. It is going to be Tsubasa Nabatame who is coming on in relief. The right-hander will pick it up here for Kohei Arihara, who is done for the night as the 31-year-old on in relief here. So Tsubasa Nabatame on in relief. Well, slated to come to bat here will be Haruto Watanabe, who is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He's grounded out, walked, and scored a run as he bats with runners on the corners and one gone. 6-2 Buffaloes in front here, looking to pad their lead. And Watanabe will be a tough one to double up, as they are playing in at the corners here with the middles in double play depth. So Watanabe steps himself into the batter's box, and we are ready to resume here. I wonder if you would see maybe a safety squeeze in some of this situation here. Runners at the corners. As the left-handed hitting, Watanabe waits. The right-hander works himself into the set position. Here comes the first offering, kicks and delivers. He does square to bunt, and it's a fastball that misses inside. Catcher Tamiya looked down to third base, but the runner Noguchi was not coming home. So that is Fastball that misses in. 1 ball and no strikes to Watanabe. He had to skip rope a little bit there. Our friend R. Hamon says he's having flashbacks from the Cebu Lion Ham Fighter game. We're glad you could make it in here with us. As the 1-0 pitch, instead the throw over to first base and diving back in time. Our friend Samurai Prayer said in the NPB, the first-year managers often make a big change in their teams and win the regular season title unexpectedly. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that. I haven't really paid, as I said, a whole lot of attention to what's going on with the Swallows over there, other than their good record. But, you think about it, they lose Murakami, and, where are they getting some of their extra support from? There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble if it stays fair. It's going to be gone, and it's a home run as it hits the facing of the second deck. Unbelievable. Haruto Watanabe hits his 3rd home run of the year. It's a 3-run shot, and the Buffaloes have extended their lead to 9-2 here in the 4th inning. Watanabe rounding the bases. And our friend who was in here earlier, Scan Tizzy, can pump a fist because he took the over 9.5. Congratulations to you, as that is going to break it. We're only here in the 4th inning. Unbelievable. So the hot play of Watanabe continues as he welcomes Nabatame to the ballgame with a 3-run blast. And that is going to bring Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. Nishikawa 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and a flyout to his name. And the pitch on the way, fastball swung on, hammered on 1 hop to the second baseman. Nice play there by Atsuka, who was ranging to his left into the 4-hole. And he's going to throw Nishikawa on a ground out 4-3. So that's going to be 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it all up to the first baseman and Bob Seymour. Well, for Seymour, he's having himself a ball game tonight. He is 2 for 2. He's got a single, a home run, and a couple RBIs. He's also scored a pair of runs. The home run that he hit was to left center field. A ball that just kept carrying. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted up into left field, moving over underneath it with plenty of room and space. And making the catch is Nishikawa, and that is going to do it. Seymour's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here mercifully for the Fighters. Well, the Buffaloes, they get 4 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. They send 7 hitters to the plate, and they do some damage. It is going to be the top of the 5th inning around the corner. Your score is the Buffaloes with a 9-2 lead. We'll be back in just a little bit after this timeout. Stay with us, everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the top half of inning number 5. It'll be Yua Tamiya, Shu Yamagata, and the top of the order, Haruki Nishikawa, to come to bat here for the Fighters in their half of the 5th inning. They are now staring a touchdown and an extra point in the deficit as they find themselves down 9-2 to the Buffaloes. The Buffaloes, who have got themselves playing some pretty good baseball right now. I was saying earlier, the loss of Masataka Yoshida, they were able to overcome. The loss of Yoshinobu Yamamoto has put them behind the 8 ball, but they are playing good ball this year. First pitch fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 0-1 to Tamiya. Tamiya grounded to third his first time up. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Aaron Curry. One thing that I'll be curious in Curry, when I saw him pitch before, is putting back-to-back good starts together. Fastball misses inside, count goes to 1-1. He'll have a good start. The next week he comes back out and he delivers a clunker, and then he comes back out and delivers a good start, and he delivers a clunker. So I'm curious to see if the right-hander can start stringing some consistency together. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now 2-1 to Tamiya. Just as a reminder, at the bottom half of this inning, between the fifth and the sixth inning, we like to call it our Japanese halftime. That is where they take a 5-minute break. They clean the field, and everybody gets a little cigarette break or whatever they need. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to short. Fielded neatly by Yokoyama. He fires to first, and Tamiya is gone on a ground out 6-3. One up and one away here to start the fifth, and that's going to bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. Well, for Yamagata, he is officially 0-1 tonight. He grounded to third his first time up. Still looking for his first hit of the season. He is 0 for the month of April. As the first pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. Yamagata 0-15. Coming into tonight's game, he's already 0-1. No homers and 1 run batted in. As the right-hander works himself to the set position, now delivers. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count is 1-1 to Yamagata. I guess the best way I would describe it is overmatched here by Curry. You have to wonder sometimes, do you give up that much offense for his defense? He's a pretty sound defender. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now 2-1. Although I don't like his approach at the plate. He doesn't really get his foot down in time. He does never really in good hitting position. Kind of reminds me of Kenya Wakatsuki, what he does. He's got this leg up in the air, and it's just sort of floating, and then he swings and misses as that split finger pitch, and the count now goes to 2-2. I think I might take him into the lab and rehaul his entire swing and swing path. Stay in your lane. There's a split finger pitch swung on it, has popped up into right field. Camping out underneath it with room to make the catch is Kita, and that is going to retire Yamagata for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here. It brings up the top of the order in Haruki Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa, as he strides to the plate, he is officially 0-1 tonight. He's flown to center, he has walked, and he scored the first run of the ball game. As the right-hander Curry delivers, it's a breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count is 1-0. I have to tell you, when I watched the home plate umpire tonight, it kind of makes me wonder where he's at in terms of his abilities here. So 1 ball and no strikes. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. As time has been called and stepping out is Nishikawa, he needs to adjust his helmet and reset himself. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander again works to the belt. 1-1 on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, our friend Samurai Purr says, speaking of Yoshida, the Red Sox manager, yeah, I saw that Alex Cora, not just Cora, but I believe 5 of the coaches went too. I didn't see, I just caught the headlines. I was on my way home, saw the announcement, but then I didn't go and look to see exactly who it was. There's a slow breaking ball taken for a called third strike. Nishikawa, he stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3, and that is going to retire him as the fighters go in order here in the 5th. That is 7 in a row retired by Curry. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is a 9-2 Buffalo lead. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Glad you guys could hang in here with us tonight for all the action. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom of the 5th inning, and slated to come to bat will be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Buffaloes. That means Tomoya Mori, Ryoto Kita, and Seiya Yokoyama to face the reliever Tsubasa Nabatame. Nabatame was welcomed to the ballgame with a 3-run shot off the bat of Haruto Watanabe, as he is back in to begin his 2nd inning of work. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on his tap foul over on the first base side. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. I know the Red Sox were off to a rough start, but I thought it was interesting that they decided to fire their manager as they did. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and the count now 0-2 to Mori. So no balls and 2 strikes. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2. And you think about it, the Red Sox, they parted ways after they shoved 17 runs on the board today against the Orioles. So maybe that was the parting ways. At the end of it, they had something that was all slated to be done. There's a fastball swung on his chop foul over on the first base side. Count remains at 1-2. Apparently, Chad Tracy, the manager of the AAA Worcester team, is going to be the interim manager, starting with Sunday's game with the Orioles at Camden Yards. As the 1-2 was on the way, fastball swung on a chop foul over on the first base side. 1-2 it remains. Other coaches also involved in that gassing included Pete Fatse, I think that's how you say it, hitting coach, third base coach Kyle Hudson, bench coach Ramon Vasquez, assistant hitting coach Dylan Lawson, and MLB hitting strategy coach Joe Cronin. Split finger pitch swung on, and they're going to have to apply the tag to Mori. He is gone for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring Ryoto Kita to the plate. Our friend Samurai Purr says, thank God that Aaron Curry transferred to the Pacific League because he was always beating the Hanshin Tigers. Yeah. You always get that 1 or 2 pitcher that is your complete nemesis. There's a first pitch fastball swung on. This ball's lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over to cut it off is the right fielder Manami. He fires it back in, and Kita's aboard with his 2nd hit of the night, as he has got himself a 1-out single. That's going to bring Seiya Yokoyama to the plate. Yeah, sometimes you get that one guy who just dominates your team. And, now with the balanced schedule in Major League Baseball, you don't quite get that. He also said that Jason Varitek has been reassigned to a new role within the organization where details will be announced at a later date. Of course, he was the captain of the Red Sox for a number of years. Fastball catches the outside corner. Count quickly 0-1 to Yokoyama. Yokoyama's had a tough night at the plate. He is 0 for 2. He has struck out both times. He has only seen 7 pitches in the 2 at-bats, and they have been tough on him so far. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count now 0-2 to Yokoyama. So no balls and 2 strikes. Have to do a little bit of a check here with the mic check because unfortunately my mic, a little bit of a static. Hopefully nobody's getting it in the background where you're at. As there's a fastball that misses outside. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is as the fastball is swung on. It's lifted over on the left field line, and that is going to go foul. It looks like we're experiencing a bit of static, but I don't know if you guys are catching it at your end. It'll drive me insane if I can't get this fixed. We'll have to do it maybe in between the 5th and the 6th innings. Scantizzi says, everybody forgets Cora was guilty as the cheating Astros, and he just got away with it. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. There is a fastball that misses down. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to the batter Yokoyama here. So 2-2 here to the left-handed hitting shortstop of the Buffaloes. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it is Manami. He is there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Yokoyama for the 2nd out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the catcher and Kenya Wakatsuki. So Wakatsuki stepping to the plate here, batting from the right side. He has a single and 2 trips. He's also scored a run. He did strike out looking earlier on. Our friend Nick from Los Angeles stops in tonight. We're glad there. Our home says not picking up anything on his end. As there is a fastball that just misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Nick Los Angeles says, yeah, tuning in from, you guessed it, Florida. So 1 ball and no strikes as that fastball is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-1. He says, just kidding, LA. So 1 ball and 1 strike as Wakatsuki waggles his bat. Here's the pitch, and there's a fastball swung on, grounded up the middle. Fielded neatly by the shortstop, Yamagata, who underhand flips to the second baseman covering, and that's going to do it as Wakatsuki has bounced into a fielder's choice 6-4 for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here in the 5th for the Buffaloes. Well, the Buffaloes, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We're through 5 complete innings. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us. It is a 9-2 Buffaloes lead. We're going to take our timeout because it is what we like to call Japanese halftime. We'll return in just a little bit. We'll put the music on loop. It is the 6th inning is going to be around the corner. 9-2. The Buffaloes are in the lead. We're going to stretch our legs, refresh our beverage, and then come on back and give you the back half of this ball game in just a few minutes. Hang tight, everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat here for the Fighters in inning number 6. That means Kotaro Kiyomiya, Franmil Reyes, and Yuya Gunji to finish the starter Aaron Curry, who will begin his 6th inning work for the Buffaloes. As Curry ready to go here, 70 pitches in his 5 innings of work. He delivers a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is quickly 1-0. Kiyomiya tonight is officially 1 for 2. He's got a double, and he scored a run in the first inning. And he is grounded to short in his other trip. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to a ball and a strike to Kiyomiya. Our friend Nick says, staying neutral allows for more open-minded wagering. Yeah, if you've got a home team or somebody that you prefer, it's hard to wager against them. There's a fastball, at least with a clear mind, as there's a fastball taken for a call and strike by Kiyomiya. The count now goes to 1-2. Fighters here find themselves in a 7-run deficit as that fastball just misses off the inside corner. Count now 2-2 to Kiyomiya. Makes you wonder when the home plate umpire is going to just start raising the right hand to keep this game moving along. 7-run deficit. Going to be hard for the Fighters to climb out of as the pitch is all the way. It's a fastball down. Nice stop there by Wakatsuki. Count now 3-2 to Kiyomiya. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And now time has been called as left-handed hitting Kiyomiya steps out of the batter's box. He's going to take a couple practice swings before he gets back in. As he taps both sides of the plate. As the right-hander ready to go here as he holds to the set. Here's the 3-2. There was a breaking ball swung on, is chopped over to first. Fielded neatly by Seymour. He underhand flips it to the pitcher covering. That's going to go down as a ground out, 3-1 for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the DH in Franmil Reyes. So Reyes striding to the plate. He is officially 1 for 2. He's got a double and an RBI in this one. He's also had a ground out. We were playing around with it, at least with the kids that I've been working with. We created a different YouTube channel called Baseball Effort and Attitude. As there's a fastball taken for a called strike. We put up our first video the other day. It was a pickoff play. We did a breakdown of it for the Vancouver Canadians and the Tri-City Dust Devils, as we are using it as a teaching tool. There's a really slow ephus pitch that floats up at 67 kilometers an hour, which would be about 42 miles an hour. It almost looked like a knuckle curve. It just missed outside. The count is 1-1. Franmil Reyes had to take a look at it. So if you're so inclined and you want a 90-second breakdown of a pickoff play, go over and check that out. The ground ball hit over to third. Mune fields it. He side slings it to first on one hop, and is taken by Seymour. That's going to go down as a ground out, 5-3 for out number 2. It's going to bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. And for those of you who are in that again, that is, if you are thinking about it or wanting to do it, that is, we call that one Baseball Effort and Attitude. It's got a picture of, I think it's Daniel Manzardo, who's doing a little bit of a flex. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Gunji. Gunji tonight, well, he is 0 for 2. He's flown to center, and he has popped out to third. So officially 0 for 2 in this one. But if you just want the NPB and all the action, you're in the right place. There is a fastball that misses down away, and the count is 1-1 to Gunji. 9 in a row retired right now by Aaron Curry, as he has really got himself in the groove. As the right-hander delivers a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now 2-1 here to Gunji. And really, since the first inning, he has only allowed the double to Franmil Reyes. It's been the only hit since the first inning, so not a lot of traffic on the base paths for the Fighters. Curious to see if they're going to roll him for another inning. I would think at this rate, why not give your bullpen an extra bit of rest? As the 2-1 is on the way, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-1. Samurai Purr says Seymour always reminds him of the song Suddenly Seymour. I have to say that I'm not familiar with that, but I'll have to look that up after the game. There's a fastball that swung on. It's going to be lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side, and the count now full to Gunji. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As we said, some upcoming early action next week. So Monday, 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern. It's going to be tight. We might have to join that one slightly in progress, but that would be the goal. I believe it's Fighters and Lions from the Balluna Dome in that one. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and Gunji's down on strikes. He's gone for out number 3, and by our counts here tonight, assuming our math is correct, that is strikeout number 4 here for the right-hander Curry. That's going to do it for the Fighters here in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is the Buffaloes with a 9-2 lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know that we have a pitching change on our hands, as it is going to be Yukiya Saito who is coming on in relief. This will be the third pitcher to be used by the Fighters here in this one, as he will take over for Tsubasa Nabatame. So Yukiya Saito on in relief. And that is where we stand here. So it'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to the dish. That means Noguchi, Mune, and Watanabe. So 9, 1, and 2 as they will be ready to go here. Saito is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we're about ready to resume the action. One thing that I look for here in this late part of the game is the competitiveness of the at-bats. We know it's a 9-2 lead. We know that the Buffaloes are cruising right now, but I was thinking more along the lines of the Fighters. Fighters basically have 9 outs left, and you've got to see if they can come in and maybe build some momentum into the next game. So that is where we stand as the right-hander ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. Fastball misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Noguchi. Noguchi's flown to left. He's walked and scored a run in his times to the plate. As the right-hander works himself to the set, he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's tapped foul over on the first base side, and the count now 1-1 to Noguchi. Noguchi, Mune, and Watanabe slated to come to bat here in inning number 6. Buffalo is enjoying a 9-2 lead, and that's another thing, too, is you bring in some pitchers, and you're hoping that they can find something to work on. As the right-hander ready to go again as he works to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into left center field, racing over. And with room to make the catch is the center fielder, Yazawa. That's going to retire Noguchi for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the top of the order in Yumamune. Just getting caught up on the scores from around the NPB, as there are scores now, as we earlier on didn't have very much to talk about. Top of the 8th inning, Eagles and Lions locked at 0s, so nothing there. Top of the 2nd inning, the Marines have a 1-0 lead over the Hawks. That game is a neutral site game. It's being played in Kagoshima. As the first pitch to Mune is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Giants have a 1-0 lead in the top of the 4th over the Bay Stars. Carpet Tigers, 0-0, bottom of the 3rd, and Swallows Dragons, 0-0 at top of the 5th. Those are your out-of-town scores. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1 on Mune. Mune tonight, officially 1 for 3. He's got an RBI. He's also scored a run. Batting from the left side here as the right-hander delivers. It's a fastball that catches the inside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Mune. I don't know if I really like Mune as a leadoff hitter per se. I when I look at the construct, they got some guys who can fly. Like Watanabe can fly, Kita can fly. But I honestly don't know why they're not hitting in the top spot. Mune runs okay, but he doesn't have the wheels to burn. And to me, he starts plugging up the base pass compared to those other guys. Fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at first base, and the count is going to remain at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yumamune. Mune taps both sides of the plate as he waits here on the offering from the right-hander. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by the second baseman, Atsuka, who throws to first. That's going to be a ground out 4-3. Mune in the books for the second out of the inning, and that'll leave it all up to the center fielder in Hiruto Watanabe. Well, for Watanabe, he is coming to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He has delivered the big blow for the Buffaloes, a 3-run homer in the 4th inning. He's also walked. He scored a pair of runs in this one. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander again delivers. There's a fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike. Count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Fastball on the way. There's a pop-up lifted down the left field line, giving chase. And underneath it to make the catch is the shortstop, Yamagata. And that is going to do it, as the Buffaloes are going to be gone here quietly in their half of the 6th inning. They go in order with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 6 complete. It is the Buffaloes with a 9-2 lead over the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. Appreciate you for hanging in here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this musical timeout. Your score is 9-2 for the Buffaloes. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few with the top of the 7th inning after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. The Aaron Curry Show continues here in the top of the 7th inning. You'll be facing Atsuka, Yazawa, and Manami as they come to bat here for the 7th inning. The Atsuka now 3 for 9 on the season. He's got a single and 2 trips with an RBI. He's also struck out as he swings at a first pitch fastball and fouls that away. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Left-handed hitting the second baseman. Settling in quite nicely here for the Fighters. 3 for 9 on the early going in his NPB career. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that just misses low, and the count goes even at 1-1. Ball and a strike. Running out of outs are the Fighters, as they're going to have to produce a lot of offense here. They want to find their way back into this one as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, grounded softly over to second. Fielded neatly by the second baseman, Noguchi, who throws to first. And Atsuka is in the books on a ground out 4-3. Out number 1, that'll bring up the center fielder in Kodi Yazawa. Well, for Yazawa, he's 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown out to left and grounded to second in his 2 trips. I have to wonder, too, at what point the Buffaloes might start emptying their bench, or do they keep their starters in? And maybe it's the Fighters who start opting for some guys to get some pinch hit at bats. A lot of regulars not in the lineup here tonight. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by Noguchi. He's a busy man in the inning. It's the second assist for him. Ground out 4-3. Izawa's in the books for the out number 2. That'll bring Chusei Manami to the plate. Well, at this rate, kind of makes you wonder if Aaron Curry would come back out for an 8th inning of work, as he has made this one fairly quick. It has only taken him 4 pitches so far here in the 7th. He's now up to 89 pitches in the ball game. Wonder what his max would be, or if they'd even consider just taking him right to give him a complete game shutout. But with a 7-run cushion, I would think that the Buffalo bullpen could probably close this one out with a blindfold. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to Mune. He takes it on a hop. He picks it up. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Manami. It's a ground out 5-3 for out number 3. And that is going to do it here. 90 pitches through the 7 innings for Curry. Let's see if he comes back out for an 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. That was a pretty quick inning. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments after our version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change, as it is going to be the bullpen, and it is going to be Takumi Yamamoto who is coming on in relief, as he will take over here. So Takumi Yamamoto, the fourth pitcher used by the Fighters in this one here, as the former Dragon completing his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the actions. So Yamamoto on in relief. Looks like we have some defensive changes as well. I'll have to get some of these caught up for you. Looks like Yazawa has moved to right. Chusei Manami's night is done. It looks like Ryo Isobata is in center. We have a new third baseman and a new catcher. It looks like it could be Ariel Martinez behind the plate. I've not seen a lot of Ariel Martinez lately. And, it kind of makes me wonder. You've got an import player and, how much he's being used, or maybe a lack of being used. Not sure what their thought process is there in Hokkaido, at least with him on the roster. I know he had spent time with the Dragons and he had come to the Fighters, but interesting that he's made his way back behind the plate here. And interesting as well that I haven't seen him catch off of one knee. I don't remember that as part of his repertoire. There's a fastball that misses for ball one. I want to know here to Nishikawa. Nishikawa, Seymour, and Mori slated to come to bat. As Yamamoto kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul into the seats on the third base side, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is, as the right-hander works himself into the set position. And the 1-1 one is ready to go. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. Glad you guys were able to make it in tonight. Hopefully you guys can join us for more action for the Tuesday games in Japan. That'll be Monday in North America, 9 o'clock Pacific. As the 2-1 pitch ready to come. On its way, fastball swung on and lifted foul straight back, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nishikawa. Ariel Martinez, as we said, making his appearance behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Nishikawa. And now time has been asked for as Nishikawa steps out of the box. As we're ready to resume the action, here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and missed. Nishikawa gone on strikes for the first out of the inning here, and that's going to bring up the first baseman in Bob Seymour. I have to say, Nishikawa looked overmatched on that pitch. For those of you who don't know, Yamamoto is literally only about 5'7", but he does rear back and have a power arm. He can sit in the low 90s, low to mid 90s actually. So this brings Seymour to the plate as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses up. That last pitch was at 96 miles an hour. So 1 ball and no strikes. Seymour smacked his second homer of the season, a 2-run shot in the 3rd inning. He is 2 for 3 tonight. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. It is popped up over on the third base side. It's playable. It's in foul territory. Moving over underneath it and making the catch. And that looks like is the replacement there. It was Yuki Nomura who hauls that one in. And Seymour is gone for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's going to leave it all up to Tomoya Mori. Neither of these teams right now look like they're very interested in swinging the bat. It looks like a getaway game. Talk about the getaway games in Major League Baseball. We were in the couple of streams ago, we were saying about our friend of the channel, Eric Fox, was telling us about as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. What had happened is in the getaway games, you're fined if you don't swing at a first pitch strike. Pretty simple. As the 0-1 is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes even to 1-1 on Tomoya Mori. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander ready to go as he works himself to the set position. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Mori. Samurai Purse, it's nice to hear your voices surviving the 7th. Yeah, last week, we had a hard time getting through the first 5 innings, and then it just fell off a cliff. Appreciate the support. Just absolutely terrible. I can only imagine going back and having to listen to that. And there's a fastball that misses down, and the count's now 2-2 to Mori. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 runs in the first, 2 in the 3rd, and 4 in the 4th have given the 9 runs to the Buffaloes in this one. Fighters got all the scoring in the first inning, and it's been quiet after that. There's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up behind home plate. Martinez giving chase. Unbelievable. That ball there hit his glove and ended up falling. I don't know if it hit the netting and came back or if it was just an outright drop by Martinez. We're going to have to get a look at the replay on that one. Regardless, it's a foul ball underneath it, and it just looked like it was a casual one hand out, and he wasn't able to make the catch. And they're going to rule that as an error, so it didn't hit anything. So an E on the catcher. Yikes. It remains at 2-2. Let's see if Tomoya Mori will be able to make it pay. The 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. That would have been the third out of the inning. And then extends the inning. It's just it was a lackadaisical play. Maybe that's why the catcher Martinez hasn't been playing so often. That's the type of play you have to witness and watch. I can understand why he's been anchored to the bench. Really disappointing out of the veteran catcher from Cuba. Here comes the 2-2. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball missing inside, and that's going to run the count to 3-2. Nothing more than adding needless pitches to your pitcher's pitch count. I don't know if Yamamoto comes out for the 8th, if he's just a one-inning kind of guy, but you got to hope that this doesn't burn the fighters in some capacity. Here's the 3-2. Fastball misses outside. It's going to be ball 4, and that's going to bring Kita to the plate. And Maury's aboard with a base on balls. And that is going to extend the inning. So 15 pitches now for Yamamoto, and we could have been out of the inning here on about 12. And I guess that sort of sums up the Fighters' season to this point, as they have underachieved a little bit. They were our pick to win the Pacific League, and it's still early. We're only not even at the quarter pole of the season yet. We're getting close, but once you get to about the 36 game mark, 35 game mark, you can chalk that off as the quarter pole. Give you an indication of where they're at through the first 25% of the year. First pitch, fastball swung on it, is hit, taken on one hop nicely by the shortstop, Yamagata. He throws and he's able to get the speedy Kita. It's a ground out 6-3, and that is going to do it. So they survive the error by the catcher, Martinez. No runs in the inning, no hits, one error, and there was a runner left aboard. Your score as we now move to the top of the 8th inning. It is a 9-2 lead here for the Buffaloes. Stick around, everybody. The 8th inning is just around the corner. We're glad we could bring it here with you tonight. Hold tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Slated to come to bat is going to be Ariel Martinez, Yamagata, and the top of the order, Nishikawa. We'll see if Martinez is going to get himself an at-bat here after that lackadaisical play here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. As Aaron Curry, who is at 90 pitches, will come onto the mound to begin the 8th inning of work. We were curious to see if they would bring him back out, but when you only have to throw 5 pitches in that last inning, that is where it is. So this brings Ariel Martinez to the plate. And the first pitch is a fastball that comes inside, and it looks like it hits him, and he's going to go down to first base. The home plate umpire says so. It looked like Martinez really wanted to swing the bat. He's got a little bit of a chuckle there, so Martinez will get himself aboard. With a hit by pitch, and that will bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. So Yamagata 0 for 2. He has grounded out and he has flown out to right field. There are some defensive changes for the Buffaloes. Again, we'll have to get some of that caught up as we move along here. As the pitch ready to come here to Yamagata. The pitch is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and a strike. Sackings fan 1234 says, what has happened to his Foo Fighters? Yeah, they have not been very good at all in the first quarter poll here. So no balls and one strike as the right-hander delivers again. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to third. They go to second for one, back to first, and it's not going to be in time. That'll be a fielder's choice. It's going to erase Martinez 5-4 for the first out of the inning. Yeah, we got a safe on the trail side. It's going to bring up the top of the order in Haruki Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa, as he strides to the plate, he is officially 0 for 2. He has struck out, flown out, and he's walked and scored the first run of the ball game for the Fighters. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Aaron Curry. Pitch on the way, fastball misses up, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Batting from the left side here is the left-handed hitting Nishikawa as the right-hander works himself into the set position. 1-0 on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander ready to go as he leans in. He checks that runner over at first base. As the 1-1 on the way, split finger pitch that is swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2 on Nishikawa. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. If you're getting here late, well, all the scoring had taken place in the first 4 innings of this one. It's been pretty quiet and pretty tame since then. 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball, take it for a called third strike. Oh, boy. That was a two-seamer with a heck of a lot of backdoor run, and Curry gets Nishikawa looking on strikes. He's gone for the second time tonight that way. He's out for out number 2, and it's going to bring up the first baseman in Kentaro Kiyomiya. Well, for Kiyomiya, he is officially 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a double in 3 trips. Batting from the left side here as the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kiyomiya. And the right-hander works himself into the set. Now he delivers. Fastball just misses a bit low, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Kiyomiya. So 2 balls and no strikes. So there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. So Aaron Curry now at 100 pitches so far in this one. And he has been in cruise control pretty much since the first inning. He has only allowed a couple of base runners since the first. As the right-hander delivers, there is a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 3-1. I would think they're going to try to get through this half inning here and turn it over to the Buffalo bullpen. I haven't seen any action there yet, but it's not to say that it is. They do have their bullpens under the stands. It's sometimes hard to get that there. Breaking ball misses down and in, and the count is ball 4 as Kiyomiya is getting himself a walk. Our friend Eloy Perez in the house tonight from Monterrey, Mexico. We appreciate you for popping in. Our friend Sackings fan wants to ask the question. He says, who are your next NPB players to join the MLB? Well, there's already been early indications that 2 players are going to be posted at season's end. The third baseman, Teraki Sato for the Hanshin Tigers, left-handed hitting third baseman, also can play the outfield. Word that he is going to be posted. And the other one is the Fighters pitcher, Hiromi Ito, who was not exactly having himself a stellar season. So buyer beware, as Tetsuya Mai has been struggling with the Astros. And certainly Ito not having a great year coming off a Sawamura award last year. Maybe he would have been better off to have been posted after last season. So those are the 2 names that have been floated around the most as it brings Franmil Reyes to the plate. First pitch to Reyes is a split finger pitch missing down and in, and the count is 1-0. Runner at second base is Yamagata. Runner over at first is Kiyomiya. Reyes at 1 ball and no strikes. One big swing of the bat here could bring this game back into the realm of possibility as there's a fastball missing inside, and it's now 2-0 to Reyes. So those are the 2. There's other speculation, of players a couple of years from now that might be down the trail, but I would think those are the 2 impact players potentially for next year. The year after that, if you're forward looking, I don't know if I would think of anybody at this point that would fit that bill. Breaking ball misses inside. It now goes to 3-0 on Reyes. Yuki Nomura waiting his turn on deck as he had come into the ballgame for Yuya Gunji. So we've got 3 balls and no strikes. As Reyes waiting here on the offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled away. So he got the green light at 3-0. And that is now 3 balls and 1 strike on Reyes. Big fella taps both sides of the plate. As he waits here on the offering from the right-hander. Here comes the 3-1. Fastball misses down and in. That's going to be ball 4. So back-to-back free passes issued here by the starter Curry. That's going to load the bases. And it's going to bring Yuki Nomura to the plate. And it's going to bring the pitching coach on a full trot out to the mound. And they have a word with his right-hander here. I would have to think that he is starting to run out of gas. 107 pitches. 2 gone here in the inning. Nomura coming to the plate. And probably letting him soak this one in a little bit here. Curry, as it is his game to lose at this point. He has cruised right along, and now he's just got to be able to finish off here. One would think they'll pass the baton to a reliever for the 9th inning. So Nomura coming to the plate here with the bases full and 2 gone. Yamagata at third, Kiyomiya at second, and Reyes the runner at first. Nomura hitting .269 on the year with 4 homers and 10 RBIs. As the first pitch from Curry is a fastball that just catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and a strike. Fighters trying to fight their way back into this one. They are losing time with the amount of outs. They've got only 4 outs left to play with. But they do have the bases loaded here. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into right center field. And this ball is going to be trouble. It's going to get down for a base hit. 1 run is in. Throw to the plate. 2 runs are in. And the Fighters have clawed their way back on a 2-run single off the bat of Nomura as Kiyomiya has crossed the plate, as has Yamagata. And it is now a 9-4 ball game. So don't give up yet, as that is going to put runners into first and second. Our friend God is Great is still listening. That's great. So Aaron Curry maybe has run out just enough, or he has run out of gas. Maybe it is going to be the time to say goodbye, but doesn't look like it quite yet. Runners at first and second. Reyes, the runner, at second. Nomura, the runner, at first. And it is Atsuka who is coming to the plate, who is 1 for 3. And the first pitch is a splitter that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander against the left-hander. As Curry delivers, it's a fastball swung on, and it's chopped foul behind home plate, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So Curry trying to finish up here, as he's now going to deliver pitch number 112 of the ball game. Right-hander delivers, fastball down. Good stop there by Wakatsuki. Runs the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander getting his sign, and he works himself to the belt. As the 1-2 on the way, it is a fastball that catches the inside corner. And Atsuka, he's looking at that one go by for out number 3, and that's going to do it here for Aaron Curry. One would have to think his night is over, but a great pitching performance by him tonight. He does give up a couple of runs in the inning. There were 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of only 1 hit. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score is we are through 8 complete innings. We're through 7.5 complete innings. It is the Buffaloes with a 9-4 lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Appreciate you for listening on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Glad you guys could make it in here tonight for all the action. We'll be right back in just a bit.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Yokoyama, Wakatsuki, and Noguchi to come to bat here in inning number 8. As 0 for 6 on the season is the left-handed hitting shortstop Yokoyama. He takes a breaking ball over for called strike. The count is 0-1. He has struck out twice and flown to right in his 3 trips. As the pitch on the way, it is a fastball swung on and chopped foul over on the first base side. The count now goes to 0-2. It is Yamamoto who is back on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. As the right-hander ready to go back at it again here. Gets a new baseball. 17 pitches in his 1st inning of work, probably about 5 too many. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now 1-2 to Yokoyama. Yamamoto ready to go back at it again. As he works himself to the set, here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side of home plate. And 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. And Yamamoto getting the sign as he works himself into the set position. And here comes the 1-2 pitch as he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball, take it for a called third strike. Oh, that's the third time tonight that Yokoyama has been retired on strikes. This time via a called strike. He's gone for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki, he's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and 3 trips. Samurai says, was Hollis a baseball player? He knows nothing about him yet. Now, Matt's a teacher down in San Diego, the beautiful city. First pitch is a changeup swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. He played in his younger years, but nothing to speak of beyond that. Just a great fan of the game. As the 0-1 pitch is on the way, it's a changeup swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. And I think if I'm Yamamoto, I want to try to take a little bit more. Actually, that was a breaking ball that was waved at and missed. Try to take a little bit more off the next pitch. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball again, swung on and missed, and Wakatsuki, he's gone for out number 2. So 2 strikeouts here for Yamamoto in inning number 8, and it's going to bring up Tomoya Noguchi to the plate. Good old Matt. Haven't talked to Matt in a little bit, as he has been playing a lot of golf with his dad. That is the big piece that is going on in his life. As the pitch is a fastball that misses up and in. That was at 96 miles an hour. So he goes back to back to back breaking balls, and then he brings a heater up and in to Noguchi. 4 for 22 on the season. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count 1-2 to Noguchi. We are in the deepest of waters here for both of these clubs, as the Buffaloes enjoying a 9-4 lead. Only 3 outs left for the Fighters, as they find themselves down by 5. Here's the pitch. Fastball down. Good stop there by Martinez. The count goes now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. When this one is over, we'll give you the full recap on this one, as well as the rundown from around the NPB tonight on a Sunday afternoon full of baseball. There is a rainout as that game between the Hawks, as there's a ball lifted into center field. Racing in is Isobata, and he's going to make a great shoestring catch, and that is going to retire Noguchi for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here. They go in order: no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your score as we now move to the 9th inning, it is the Fighters trailing 9-4. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back just a little bit with all the action. Appreciate you for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Well, we got ourselves a 9-4 scoreline. The top of the 9th is just around the corner, and we're going to be bringing it to you here in just a couple of moments. Hang tight, everybody. It is the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. 9-4 your score. back, everybody. It is going to be Kaito Iriyama who is coming on in relief here as he will take over here to pitch in the ninth inning. And it is going to be Kodiyazawa, Chusei Manami, and Ariel Martinez to come to bat. So the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to face the right-hander here. But it is going to be Mizuno who is coming into pinch hit. So we have a pinch hitter, it's Tsuki Mizuno, as he will hit for Yozawa. And the first pitch is hit right back to the pitcher. He knocks it down and he fires to first. Oh boy, right back at the pitcher, Iriyama. As he knocked his hat off, everything, he gets a smile. We'll get a look at this one again. Pitch was one hopper. He taken it off his glove, knocked it down, lost his balance, and he was able to retire Mizuno on one pitch, ground out 1-3. So one gone here. The trainer was going to come out. No need to look at him. Probably more shocked than anything else. So one pitch and one away here in the ninth inning, and it is slated to bring to the plate. Originally, it was supposed to be Chusei Manami, but Manami is out of the ball game. We'll just have to confirm if it is Ryo Isobata, as that is who it looks like. The first pitch to Isobata is taking a fastball that misses down and in. It's 1-0. Isobata hitting 176 on the season. He's 3 for 17. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses down and in. They appeal to the third base umpire, but they say Isobata didn't go, and it's now 2 balls and no strikes. Eloy is looking for a ride home, as it looks like he is not going to pass a breath test. Here comes the 2-0 pitch as it's on its way. Fastball swung on, lifted into right center field, giving chase and making the catch on the run is the center fielder Watanabe. So 2 gone here in the ninth inning, and that's going to leave it all up to Ariel Martinez. Our friend Samurai Prayer says top of the 7th at the Cochin, 1-0 for the Tigers over the Carp. Sato has hit his 6th home run in the bottom of the 4th inning. Appreciate you for that update. Ariel Martinez making his second plate appearance. He was hit by a pitch in the 8th inning. He is 1 for 9 on the year. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander against the right-hander. As he delivers, it's a fastball down. Count goes even to 1-1 on Martinez. Buffalo's cruising to a victory here, it looks like. They are down to their final out. Are the Fighters. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. That should do it. As moving over underneath it is the center fielder Watanabe, and he's there to put it away. And that is going to do it here from Osaka. A pretty quick 2-hour and 41-minute game, as most of the scoring took place in the first 4 innings. We'll come back and wrap it up for you here in just a few. We appreciate you guys for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Your final score is the Buffaloes with a 9-4 victory over the Fighters, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments after this musical timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It was the 9-4 ball game, and this one will wrap it up for you here. Fighters got things going in the first inning. A walk to Nishikawa, a double by Kiyomiya. The first one was brought home on an RBI groundout off the bat of Franmil Reyes that gave the Fighters an early 1-0 lead. With 2 out, Ruin Atsuka got his first NPB RBI, singling home Kitaro Kiyomiya that made the scoreline 2-0. But the Buffaloes came right back in their half of the first inning with 1 out. Watanabe walked after Nishikawa flew out. It was a single by Bob Seymour, a single by Tamori Mori that brought home a run, and then Ryota Kita singled home a pair of runs, and that gave the Buffaloes a 3-2 lead. Buffaloes added to their lead with 1 out in the second inning, a single by Nishikawa, and Bob Seymour stepped up and deposited a 2-run blast into the left center field seats. That made the scoreline 5-2. Buffaloes added 4 more in the fourth inning. With 1 out, it was a single by Wakatsuki after a walk to Noguchi. It was Yumamune driving home Wakatsuki with the 6th run of the game for the Buffaloes, and then up-stepped Haruto Watanabe, and he greeted the reliever, Tsubasa Nabatame, with a 3-run shot, and that gave the Buffaloes a 9-2 lead. Fighters were able to get 2 consolation points in the 8th inning. After Ariel Martinez was hit by a pitch, Shu Yamagata bounced into a fielder's choice. Haruki Nishikawa struck out looking. They walked to Kitaro Kiyomiya, a walk to Franmil Reyes, load the bases, and then a 2-run single off the bat of Yuki Nomura. That brought home a pair of runs, and that was your final score of 9-4. Our friend Samurai Prayer said that was a quick game. It sure was, as this game here ended in under 2 hours and 40 minutes. Just looking at your out-of-town scoreboard before we pack it in for the night, it was a rainout in Kagoshima between the Hawks and the Marines. Other game in the Pacific League still going on. 0-0 between the Eagles and the Lions. Over in the Central League, in the top of the 7th inning, it is a 1-0 lead by the Tigers over the Carp. As our friend Samurai Prayer said, it was a Sato home run in the 4th, the difference in that one. Dragons now have a 1-0 lead over the Swallows, top of the 7th. And the Giants enjoying a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 6th. Over the Bay Stars. And it sounds like our voice was just able to hold up enough to get through this one here tonight, because we are starting to crack now. Good thing the game didn't go any longer. Appreciate everybody for listening in tonight. We will see you again Monday, North American time. Come on in, check us out. It is going to be more Pacific League action, as it'll be the Lions and the Fighters. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you Monday. Thanks for popping in.